My daughter, Kuri, has DRPLA, a disease that causes atrophy of the brain. It is hereditary and progressive. Kuri is bedridden. My husband, Chiaki, passed away 7 years ago from this disease. I wrote OHANA Family in hopes of finding a cure. I pray that I can save my daughter. Chapter 5. The Miracle of the Wedding Anniversary. Crying, crying, crying. I just kept crying and crying, and there was nothing I could do about it. Although I don't write about it in my blog, she was no longer able to hold a soap bubble in her hand, and she couldn't pick up popcorn at the cinema, dropping the whole box. The things she couldn't do were piling up. Even the simple act of walking became so dangerous that we both nearly fell over, even when I supported her with both hands. And at night, she was in so much pain that she kept going to the toilet. But she couldn't get up onto the bed, and I saw her flailing around. But I don't have the strength, and if Jack helps, Kuri will get hurt. And even though I know it's wrong, I think it would be less painful for Kuri if the three of us disappeared. And I start to cry. This morning, when I was taking her to school, she almost fell down the stairs to the parking lot. There is no more time to move. But no matter how much we looked, there were no apartments that could be renovated. When I saw Kuri freeze on the stairs, saying, "Scary!" I thought, are we not even allowed to leave? And I took her to school. Every time I get in touch with school, there is a question about her safety. Today, I took her to class with a notebook. That's when Mrs. Ota told me it seems Kuri had recently lost her eyesight. She also pointed out that the black part of her eye sometimes moved up and down, and that she can't grab things even when she tries. Lately, I'd also been worried about Kuri's eye movement, but the words, "she's lost her eyesight," were a shock, a real shock. I cried and cried in the car. I had no more energy left. When I got home, Chiaki was waiting for me, worried about my return. When he asked me, "You are late, what happened?" I told him about her eyes. Chiaki was also shocked. Even if she does an eye examination, it's not something that can be cured, and Kuri can't answer either, so she can't do the examination herself. Don't make her do any more unpleasant examinations, he said. That's right, I replied. Chiaki had already realized that I had cried, but even at home, I cried and cried, and the tears wouldn't stop. I couldn't bring myself to do anything. And what should we do about the house? I was seriously thinking, if I publish a book, won't it be enough to pay for a down payment on a house? But she couldn't afford to wait for months. Is there no other way than to write a letter to the neighbors and have a man carry her in a wheelchair? The townhouses in our area are all the same type, and there are dozens of them lined up. I looked around to see which staircase was the least dangerous. But I had already looked around dozens of times and knew that there was no way a wheelchair could get through any of them. Still, I had to walk. As I was walking around in circles, Chiaki said, "Come on." We went down to the parking lot. "I think Kuri could live in that area," he said. "But it's no good if there are people living there." Chiaki's misunderstanding had started again, I thought. But on the other side of the car park, there was a single-story house that looked just like our house, but it was empty. The door was open, so I looked inside and saw a man lying down in the empty room. When we asked him about it, he said he was a carpet replacement contractor. When he asked him if I could take a look inside, he readily showed us around. The house was still being renovated, and it looked too much older than our house. However, when we saw the toilet and shower room, we were so surprised. Both had support bars for disabled people. I hurriedly asked the man I had met earlier, "Are you going to have these bars moved?" It would be a big job to remove them, and we don't have the budget for that, so we'll leave them in place, he said. He then gave me the contact details, and when I contacted them, I was told that the house was being rented out and that the previous owner was in a wheelchair. So the house had been renovated to be wheelchair accessible, and it was planned to be rented out as it was. I explained the situation and I left my phone number, saying we would really like to rent it. It was like a miracle. I really couldn't believe it. It wasn't decided that we could rent it yet, but at the moment, we wanted even the smallest bit of hope. When I asked Chiaki if he knew that the house was empty, he said, "I thought it might be, because I've seen people who looked like builders going in and out recently." Of course, he didn't know that the inside of the house had been made wheelchair accessible. But he said, "I've been looking for a house for Kuri where we can live while I do my daily rehabilitation exercises." He often said that house would be good for Kuri, but I didn't listen and thought, there is no point in thinking about it because we can't renovate the rental property to make it accessible to someone who needs a wheelchair. "You did a great job today, Chiaki," I told him. But even though I was surprised about the house, the fact that Kuri was going blind was still a shock. And I couldn't do anything all day. Today was Tuesday, music therapy day. As I was getting ready to go out, Chiaki said, "I'm sure it won't come to be a point where she can't see at all. Besides, Kuri loves music, so even if she goes blind, we can still give her the world of sound that she loves. I said, yes, and left. But I cried the whole way to the YMCA. When I saw Kuri, I started crying again. God, the house is a miracle, isn't it? Can we live in that house? God, we have a mission, so we have to go through these trials, right? If that's the case, please give us the strength to overcome these trials. And when we think it's no hope, please give us these miracles or open the power to us. Please open the way to us. And today, it's already yesterday, was our 26th wedding anniversary. My dear Chiaki, we can't do anything on our wedding anniversary. It just was, but happy wedding anniversary. I hope there will be another miracle like this. Let's cherish Kuri together.